Our solar system. Our microscopic grain of sand in the world of the Milky Way. You can barely survive a trip to reach the closest pit stop on the road to explore each planet. It was taking us decades to snap a few photos. What are we searching for? What is out there? It is like trying to figure out what's going on in your backyard when you haven't even left nor finished exploring that old wardrobe stored in the basement. Our conflicts, revelations, rebirths, and self-destruction are nothing but a drop in the lake of our solar system. Though we are insignificant to its operations, it seems there is no one else contributing to the exploration of our revolving home. What is Saturn? The speck of dust floating around and trying to conjure a scene of life within a fraction of a fragile second? Or its home, ignorantly waiting for the bit of dust to indeed view and explore its vast glory? Who is watching who? Does either of us notice us noticing the other? Or is it just too late? The solar system is our sun and everything that dwells within its gravitational pull. This chaotic chemical cauldron of 90% hydrogen, 9% helium, and a garnish of over 60 other elements mixed in consists of 8 human-defined planets and countless smaller entities such as dwarf planets, asteroids, satellites, and comets. We will be focusing on the 8 planets in our solar system, and a famous dwarf planet as well, to keep it short and sweet.
The increasing heat of the inner planets has formed them into molten spheres. Mercury.
After giving the sun its spotlight for once, it's time to expand outward to our first planet, and the smallest planet, barely more prominent than the moon orbiting the Earth. This planet is Mercury. This little rock carries no moons nor rings and is only 58 million kilometers away from our sun. In our minds, that might seem far away, but compared to the distance of space, less than the thickness of your own fingernail. Its rotation takes up to 59 Earth days to get 1 day in Mercury, but a full orbit around the sun only takes 88 Earth days for Mercury. If you were 20 years old on Earth, you would be 83 in Mercury. How's that, old timer?
Radar, which can penetrate the clouds, reveals Venus.
On to our next and second planet orbiting our sun. We see Venus in the great emptiness of space. With Mercury almost being the same size as our moon, Venus is nearly the same size as our Earth. This planet is unique in that its orbit is opposite of the other planets besides one. The sun rises in the west and sets in the east. The planet's surface is quite hot, almost 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to liquefy lead. It is even warmer than Mercury because its atmosphere is mainly carbon dioxide and clouds produced by sulfuric acid, causing the heat to be trapped. As a result, Venus having the hottest surface in our lineup of planets.
This is a computer simulation of the Earth.
It is our home, and the third planet in our solar system, Earth. We generally know that Earth is the only livable planet, as of this recording, and the only planet not named after Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. The name initially came from a Germanic origin, translating to the ground. With a population closing in on 8 billion, this blue dot with an atmosphere of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and a frill of other chemicals, it creates the perfect balance for humans to thrive. We carry only one moon and no rings, but have over 500,000 things orbiting our Earth, ranging from dime-sized debris to full-blown satellites. You could say it's getting pretty crowded in and around this little blue speck of ours.
Science fiction writers have long used our neighboring planet Mars as a setting for their tales about other beings.
At this point in our journey outward from our home, we see our fourth planet, Mars. Our two-moon-having red neighbor is one of the most explored worlds that we know of in our solar system. What gives Mars its iconic red color is the iron within the soil oxidizing. It has a fragile atmosphere containing carbon dioxide, argon, nitrogen, and very few amounts of oxygen and water. We have been very keen on the past and future of this planet. 100 pounds on Earth will only come to little over 37 pounds on Mars, hence its smaller size. Gravity will affect it differently. We have used robots to guide us to the moon and Mars itself, hopefully leading to the way for humans to plan maybe another invasion of a planet.
Today, we have a clearer picture of Jupiter and its moons than is presented in the upcoming film.
After passing these pebbles of hot rock, it is time we come in contact with a giant itself, Jupiter. This striped behemoth of pearl storms and a red circle of death takes only 10 hours to make a full rotation. But to make a complete revolution around the sun will take almost 12 Earth years. Even though it's massive, Jupiter is practically made up of only gas and lacks any kind of solid surface like our previous planets. Its atmosphere contains hydrogen and helium. Not too many people knew this because it is unseen, but Jupiter itself has a faint ring. Jupiter carries over 70 moons in its orbit. Some of them may be having the ability to maintain life itself.
This is raw data. It has not been processed in any way.
Saturn is our sixth planet, the jewel of the solar system. Being the second largest planet, Saturn is also infamous for its rings, extending up to 175,000 miles. Just like Jupiter, Saturn is also another gas giant, hydrogen and helium being the main component. Spacecraft can never truly explore the planet because of the extreme pressure and temperature that will vaporize anything closing in within the atmosphere. With Saturn carrying over 80 moons, it practically has a tiny solar system itself. It is also very intriguing that if an ocean were big enough for Saturn to bring, it would float. The reason why is that Saturn's density is less than water itself.
NASA will make any new discoveries about a planet ground-based observers have never before seen at close range.
Uranus is the seventh world and the oddball of our solar system. Starting with its freakish rotational pattern, just like Venus, Uranus rotates opposite of all the other planets. Even stranger, it turns sideways. This planet's elements are of water, methane, and ammonia, making it an ice giant. Uranus also carries 13 rings, with the inner ones being darker and the outer ones being lighter. Since this planet is far out into the ether, Uranus has only had one visitor orbiting its space, Voyager 2. This contraption also visited our next planet on the list.
The eighth planet from the Sun is Neptune.
The farthest planet in our solar system is our eighth, Neptune. You cannot see Neptune with the naked eye, making it only seeable through a telescope. It has a lot of similar attributes to its colder neighbor, Uranus. It's another ice giant with most of its mass made up of an icy, hot, dense fluid of water, methane, and ammonia. The atmosphere is mostly molecular hydrogen and atomic helium. With 14 moons, this planet also contains 5 main rings. Neptune is also labeled the windiest world, with wind speeds going over 1,200 miles an hour. At a certain point in its rotation around the Sun, Neptune gets passed by the famous dwarf planet Pluto, where Pluto becomes closer to the Sun than Neptune.
It will be the only one not visited in this century by an automated spacecraft.
Pluto was a planet until 2006, when classified as a dwarf planet. It's smaller than our moon. This strange place has red snow and blue skies. It takes quite a while for Pluto to make one full rotation around the Sun, practically 248 Earth years. The atmosphere contains nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. Even though this planet is small, it has 5 moons orbiting it, with Charon being big enough to debate which one is orbiting the other. Pluto's average temperature ranged from negative 378 degrees to negative 396 degrees Fahrenheit. A freezing and a lonely place, just like the space it dwells in. Our solar system is vast, yet condensed. Compared to space, it is laughable. Whether it's something that is comfortable or full-on terrifying to know, space expansion is immeasurable. It is almost useless for some humans and a waste of time to discover our place in all of this. Some have not even left their own neighborhoods. We look up at the night sky, content in the blissful ignorance of our lack of understanding of what is truly out there. We can only take nibbles of gratification with small discoveries. All in all, we wonder what we are all looking for out there in space. Also, what's looking back? Thank you all for watching today's session. I hope you learned something and was quite scared throughout the session. Give us a like, leave your critiques, concerns, and questions in the comments down below. Subscribe now and hit the bell so you don't miss any notifications on any new sessions coming, and remember to always stay afraid and keep learning.